Hello and welcome to the morning meeting, Build and Jomboy Media. My name is Jimmy. His name is Matthew. And we're talking about whatever you guys are asking about, really. This is kind of a question show. Some topics. Other things are just you guys leave questions and we pull them and then we talk about them.
Yeah, sometimes they leave topics too.
Yeah?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, I search by contains question mark, so not I. No topics for me. But we have topics.
We do have topics.
Did you enjoy the snow?
Didn't have much experience with it. Stayed inside.
Wow. Did you get snow?
A little.
Yeah.
It's freezing though.
Because you're in like cities,
Yeah.
They don't really accumulate snow as much.
Exactly.
We got a lot of snow by me.
Shovel.
Yeah, we got a lot of snow. 6 inches, 7 inches. It was awesome.
Do the kids like it?
Yeah, James loves it. I was upset. I was in a tough spot because I had to come into work yesterday. Otherwise, I would have been hell, like if I had no Monday. But I really wanted to go sledding with them, but I couldn't. I've done it once already this winter. But yeah, he likes making snowballs and throwing snowballs. It's like his favorite thing.
Makes sense. That
Yep.
aligns. Yeah, not a lot of snow, at least for me. But to give people a quick overview of what they might be hearing today, keyword, Dodgers, warehouse, honey, surviving, subathon, Zorks. Those are the first words of each of the things.
Wow. It's like a puzzle.
Yes.
First one's easy. Dodgers. Signing everyone.
You haven't had the chance to talk about this, I don't think, in other places. So I figured maybe we lead with this. But the hubbub on Twitter is that the Dodgers may be bad for baseball. Your thoughts?
Yes and no. I don't know. It's tough. Like if you're a team that is going to lose and you don't think you have a chance, that stinks. But I believe that we have more teams that have a chance than we did 4 years ago. Like, what were the years when no one was really... 2017, 2018, 2019, those 3 years, it was like the Astros tanked and won. The Cubs tanked and won. The Astros tanked and won. And it was like everyone was like, this is the new fad. And that, I feel like, was the most no one was trying. There's a lot of teams trying in the NL. Like a lot of teams spending money. Our Diamondbacks just spent a ton of money. Giants are getting guys and getting people. So like the effect the Dodgers have had on their own division is pretty good. You have the Diamondbacks spending. You have the Giants spending. You have the Mets trying to compete. The Phillies obviously have a great team.
Braves.
The Braves are having a weird offseason. I wouldn't be excited if I was a Braves fan, but you still have a good team. So like in a way, rising tide raises all ships. Like there are in the NL, there are other teams competing and signing more. Because look what's going on in the AL. There's no one chasing the Dodgers, and the Yankees aren't being the Dodgers for people to chase. So the AL is kind of, you have a lot of teams that can win because the Yankees aren't doing that. The Yankees could be doing what the Dodgers are doing and like making say, hey, come get us. But in a way, it's so top. It's such a conversation that's good for baseball. It might not work out. Every team that wins the offseason does not win the postseason. Maybe the Dodgers were the first team to do it last year, but that always happens. And people are like, they got so many players and they never win. And baseball is such a crapshoot when it comes to the playoffs. They still might not win. And then if they don't win, that's good for baseball because the storylines and drama that come from that. Now, if they win, it's probably good for baseball for 1 year. If they go on a run and win like 3 in a row, like what the Yankees were doing in the late 90s, early 2000s, then it's bad for baseball and you're going to see rules be changed. They always want the game to correct itself, but the Yankees were so dominant in those years and then spending all that money that they made revenue sharing. Like in 2004, after the Yankees, the difference was crazy in the amount of teams that spent money and made it to the playoffs and made it to the World Series versus not. So it's fun right now. It's fun to have teams that are like hated and awful. And then it's fun to have teams turn and become evil, like the Warriors in the NBA when everyone's rooting for them, like the Chiefs in the NFL, like first time Mahomes wins, and they're like, this is awesome. Like, he's so fun. He's the most young, fun quarterback I've ever seen. I want him to chase Brady. And now everyone's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Like that is good for sports when you have build up dynasties, then like everyone wants to tear them down. Not on the individual, but on the team. So the Tanner Scott signing did feel fucked up.
Agree.
Like that one, the Roki one, that kid gets to choose. It's nothing like the Dodgers put themselves in the best place. Why wouldn't he choose the Dodgers? I think he'd be a fool to not choose them. I don't hold anything against them nor the Dodgers. Like that's not even they what the Dodgers are doing, they're not even outbidding teams. When you have such a foundation, you have such star power, and you're like, hey, dude, come here, be in a big media market. You don't have to be a main guy. You can just contribute. Like the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, did they outbid the Dodgers for Tanner Scott?
It was the Cubs and the Red Sox.
The Cubs and the Red Sox. The Padres offered more signing bonus money for Roki Sasaki. So the Dodgers have themselves in such a spot that guys are taking less money to play for them. Joe Kelly said, I'm retiring unless I get an offer from the Dodgers. So it's really fun conversation. And whenever people are heated, that's good for baseball. Whenever there's debates like this that are kind of going around, that's good because it's an entertainment sport and you want people talking. But they haven't won yet. They won last year. But like this team, if they are just unbeaten throughout this season and then like they continue to do it, yeah, they'll make some rules like they did in 2004. I'm very interested in it. Like for me, it's a storyline that I want to follow, which is always fun to have that. And for the common casual fan, they're hearing about Dodgers super team, and then they're going to either not pay attention until they read the next headline, which is like they win. They're like, this sucks for baseball, or the Dodgers lose. And they're like, couldn't even do it. And that's the two thoughts that people will have.
Do you think that the deferrals are a problem, regardless of if they win or only if they win?
I'm not smart enough to understand them. I was trying to understand it. And it's like the money gets paid right now, but it goes into the bank or like a trust or whatever. And like it's accruing money and they don't pay taxes. Like the state of California is trying to change the rules because Ohtani's not paying any taxes to the state of California. So on this, I'm not smart enough to understand this, but I was trying to understand it. But both parties, the money is like just paid, but then it's deferred. So it's accruing interest. That the way I was reading it, they're saying both the Dodgers and the player benefit from this because they don't pay taxes and the money accrues interest that the Dodgers can earn on in the meantime. And then the player can like earn on I have no idea. I'm not smart enough to understand that. I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but I through reading it and I was like, I don't care. Why aren't other teams doing it?
I don't know. I think that's the consensus of why a lot of people are like, this is bad for baseball because why are no other teams doing that? To the extent. There are a few writers that tweet out like, oh, there are other teams like Ken Griffey Jr. did it. It's like, eight guys on the Dodgers.
The Nationals offered it to Soto. But yeah, at this extent and the money that's being deferred, why aren't the Yankees doing it? And is that because this Dodgers ownership is just going to sell that debt as soon as it's bad, so they don't care? Where like Steinbrenner wants to keep it in the family forever. I have no idea. I'm just posing. Like, is that the thought? Like, if you want this to be a family business and you don't want to like fuck it up for the next guy, would you not want to do this? And does the Dodgers brass be like, what? We'll sell the team once the valuation's sky high and they accrue? I again have no idea. Like, it's just like questions I'm asking that I don't know the answer to.
My thought was like Ohtani did it. Everybody wants to play with him, so they'll also just do it.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think it's a fun conversation for this season. Let's see it play out. They do have a super team. Like, I think it's the most super team that's ever been built. Remember when the Phillies had the four aces and Joe Blanton?
Yeah.
They won in 2008?
Without them.
That was before that, right?
Yeah.
This was like 2010.
2009, 10, 11.
And they never won, right?
No.
So that's the last time we had like the best pitching staff ever assembled. Braves in the 90s only won one World Series?
I think so.
Baseball's crazy. Haven't had a repeat winner since the Yankees.
Yeah.
In 2000. In 2000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's pivot over to another crazy thing, being the warehouse. A few questions came in, a few topics. First, wanted to ask you how Warehouse Challenges filming went, because we did it the first day of it, and Shuts commented, asking any plans to revisit Baseball 5s. I really like those videos.
Oh yeah, I guess I can peel the curtain back. So this isn't going to be the first video that gets released on the new Warehouse Challenges channel, but we just, for timing reasons, we need to film it. And I was taking lead on it because I want to do this style of video a lot. It's taking Baseball 5 and then changing it because we didn't really like slapping the ball with our hands. It felt rather silly, but we like the infield defense aspect of it and like running the bases and hit it where they ain't. So we're creating the game like Warehouse Baseball. And that it's going to be a video on the Warehouse Challenges. Is like we've got one day to create this game, and then we're going to play a tournament with it in slot ball league, in our captain's league. And we filmed last Friday. It did not go as planned, really. Like, it's always tough. It's a new kind of filming. We did it. Like, I wrote out 3 acts. We did the 3 acts. The game that it ended up being, we did not like. So it was like, oh, fuck. We got to scrap those 2 acts. Now, I might keep it part of the process because that is like creating these sports and games that we do. There's a lot of like, you play it and then you think on it and you're like, we were like, that's not what we want. So we're actually going back this Friday and refilming, because right after that, I don't even know if we were rolling on it, but right after that, me, Jack, Zoe got together and we we're like, we should change the line to here. So you have to hit the ball hard, and then you can take away the home run wall. So now there's an outfielder. We think we got it to a better place. We have to test that out. So that is, yeah, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't say like it went bad, because that's the process.
Right.
Whereas there's other games I want to take, like the Massachusetts game, which is how they played in Massachusetts before. Baseball as we know it was the way they played in New York City. And they played a different way in Philly and a different way in Massachusetts. And then the Civil War happened, and the New York game was the one that spread throughout the Civil War and won out. The Massachusetts game is kind of wild. It's similar but different. I want to do videos where we take like the Massachusetts game, finish baseball. There's this other game called Oinya, all these other, even like non-baseball games, but other sports from around the world. And we say, how do we make this into a warehouse sport? And it's just a one video thing where we don't have to film a tournament afterwards. It's just like, you know, for people that like that creating games video. And if we were doing one of those where it didn't have to be something we put into practice for a tournament, I think we would have enough and be like, yeah, it's all right. Like those videos that I'm talking about, they can come to the conclusion like, this game stinks. This is the best we can do. And let us know what you think, but I don't think we're playing this again. And that's a good ending to the video. This one, because we're playing it in Captain's League, has to be like, this is a good product.
Right.
So we're going back to the drawing board on Friday and filming again.
You've happened to answer Kyle's question, because he asked, will there be another Captain's League draft?
Yes, there's been 2. We filmed the first 2 tournaments. When does I have
the slap ball comes out, the draft, on the 23rd. So
2
tomorrow
days
when you're watching
yeah,
this.
Wednesday. Wow. And then someone
Thursday.
asked about the new captain. You'll see that process as well.
Yeah, that's in there. And then the first game of slap ball is this upcoming Sunday, January 26th. And then ball and play is a month later, 2/27.
Yeah, and we changed a lot of rules to slap ball, and we changed a lot of rules to ball and play. Constantly trying to find betterments.
Improvements?
Yeah.
Betterments. And then I feel like people were asking, the overall warehouse intro video will be geared towards the franchise tournaments. And so that and BB6 will be coming out towards the start of April.
Mm-hmm. Betterment is a word, actually. Wow.
Okay.
How about that? Improvements and betterments.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's jump, because last week, exactly a week ago, we had like a leadership offsite where We talk about changing strategy for the future of the company. So wanted to get your overall thoughts on how it went, and also talk about some of the key things we walked away from with.
I thought it went well. We've been doing these a lot now, and this was the first time I think all the people in the meeting had been with us for a while. There's always like some new people. This was the second time it was this group, and so it was no one's first time.
Right.
And all the departments spoke and then tackled some issues and talked about changes for next year based off where we are this year. We just had like a good year where we kind of stripped things back and needed to really build a foundation and structure to find stability as a company, as far as like just even like structure of management, communication, departments, organization, content, like what are like strategies, not strategies, just needed to find like a straightened path in a lot of different areas. I hate the way I'm talking because I don't think it's like tangible words. It just all feels like babble.
It's a little vague. So why don't we talk about...
We needed to cut a lot of the riffraff and say we need to conquer just like delivering on these shows. We can't miss deadlines. We have to make ads good. We have to get our schedules in order and just like kind of go. And I talked about this last week on this show. And now that we've built that foundation successfully and feel like we can now grow and a little more spontaneous this year. We weren't that spontaneous last year by design. And I'm glad that we did it because we needed to find a steady. But yeah, I talked about it last week. Like I'm missing just doing random shit here and there. So it's like freeing ourselves up to do new stuff, silly stuff, bring back some vlogs for Talking Yanks, turn our big shows more into brands where like Talking Yanks, Talking Baseball aren't just one podcast. It's the main thing, but they also, and the social media accounts, like that's what they are right now is one podcast, social media accounts. But like, how can we do other shows, other like playlists or fun shit off of that? Much like how Talking Baseball, I added Jimmy's 3 Things, and that was like in the world of Talking Baseball. It was just like part of that brand, which I just released one today.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of like Jimmy's one thing.
What was the one thing?
Scoops at first base. I don't know if it's out yet.
Scoops. Do you want to talk through some of the things that we walked away from? We have some warehouse champions, social accounts, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know how much has been relayed, but warehouse champions, I would just someone from every department
yeah,
that loves the warehouse and like is invested in it. We're going to meet once a month just to throw ideas out there and how can we improve and try new things, find bad ideas so we can learn from them. Because at times it feels like I just need help. I just want more people throwing ideas. And we've had that. We built that like slowly the last couple of months where we've had good people suggesting things and be like, yeah, that's great. And I was just like, from the merch department and sales and socials, more people making it a priority to think about what can we do differently rather than reactionary. A lot of it's been like me and you, me and Jack, me and Zoe, me and Kyle, me and Jake have a conversation. Hey, we should try this. And then we pass it. And then it's reactionary from the other departments where like, I'd rather other people will be coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I agree.
And then acquiring social accounts. I don't know. I feel like that's a whole world that we don't really fully know about yet. So
yeah, that's a little down the line.
It was interesting. I got a message right away, like offering one as we were having that conversation, which is crazy.
That was very ironic.
Yeah.
Nicholas asked a question, and if you have questions, leave them in the comment section down below. We will answer them next week. Jimmy, did you read about the whole honey scandal with affiliate links? Do you think you guys got hurt by it? Do you know what this is?
Yeah, I know what that is. I don't think we ever had a deal with honey.
We never had a deal with honey.
Yeah, so no. But we probably got hurt by it. All those sites that we definitely got hit by shit like this with some companies a couple years ago the companies that just scour for giveaway codes? Like, are there any active codes? That's what Honey would do. That's what they would say they were doing.
Yeah.
Honey was a company, if you have no idea. Well, just read it. I don't want to explain the whole thing to you and get parts of it wrong and then feel dumb. But they would offer services to like, this is the best affiliate link that's out right now. And then you would get it. But really, they had back-end deals with the companies and shit. And then they would like strip the creator of that. So they hurt a lot of creators. But any of those programs that source codes, active codes, hurt us. Because one time, I forget what company it was or I forget what this was, but it was a company that we had an active code with, and it got hit by one of those search engines. So the numbers were unbelievable. So then the company was like, well, this isn't real. Like, there's no way you guys did this. And we're like, yeah, that's like a crazy number. But then they couldn't judge us, would have had to renew. And I don't know if we did. I forget the whole story on it, but like it did hurt us because we at the beginning especially, we always outperformed on return for codes because we have a real loyal audience that if we offer them something that they want, they like use our code and help us out. And those programs screw that up. So I get it from the consumer's end. Like, you want to get the best deal that's available for you.
Yeah.
But when like one company just like uses an algorithm to spam it and then they give it out to everyone, it muddied up everything. We never did affiliate deals where we would get a percentage of the usage. I never did those ever. Like, when we were really small, we would get offered a ton to do, where I say a code, and if you guys use it, we get a percentage of the use. If you are a creator, I would suggest never entering one of those deals until you are so big and already worthwhile. And I'd still say make sure you get a guarantee. So like me and Jake were making no money at the time, and it was just me, him, and like Bill or Luke were working for us, and we'd get a lot of companies that would say, hey, give out our code, and if you use it, you get a percent. And I said, no, pay us to promote your product. And I said, we're not salesmen. We're a billboard.
Right.
Like, you can't pay for a billboard, reap all the benefits of the awareness and the eyes that see it, but not give money, only give money if people actually act on it. They could act on it a year from now because they heard it with us or they drove under that billboard. So I said, no, people would be shocked. I remember we had a meeting with, should I say, I forget their name. Where does Rovell work?
Beyond me.
Fuck. I forget the name. It's Action Network. Yeah. Action Network called me and Jake. And they wanted us, they had like a affiliate deal with DraftKings or some other company. And they wanted us to give out their code and then split the split. Like, they would pay, like, say it was whatever, it was $20. Say they were getting $10 a usage. These are made up numbers. They were like, we would give you $5 for it.
Right.
And I was like, no. They're like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't do the affiliate deals. Like, I have a real audience that I care about, that like we are growing, and I'm not going to put something in front of them unless we're getting paid like upfront for it. And they were like, this is how it's done. That's how they talked to us. Like, this is how it's done. Like, this is how the industry works. And I said, that's not how we do it. I'm not interested in that. And they were like baffled, and then hung up. And then came to us with a bunch of deals a couple years later, and then pulled out. I don't know what they're up to.
I don't know. But that's a little history lesson in JM world.
They were on my absolute no list for a while. Probably still are. Just incredibly rude to Courtney.
Damn.
Incredibly rude. So I was like, nope, never. So I don't know. It's been a couple years now. So anyone can. Stadium Network was on my no list for a while, and then they got like a new head of programming, a new leader, and he knew that. He came and he met and was like, hey, can we start over? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, absolutely. If it's new people and stuff.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked with Action Network since I lived in Manhattan. So that's 2020 or 2021. So it could be all new over there. But for a while, like they kept like getting in. I was just done. I was like, nope, we don't answer anything from them anymore.
Makes sense. Let's jump ship a little bit, but still talking about outside of the JM walls. You watched the entirety of Surviving Barstool. Curious of your takeaways of really what impressed me was the production of it all. Obviously, they're using a third-party company to produce it, but were you watching that with an eye for the production?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, kind of a lot of stuff I watch. It's kind of the only thing I consume these days. Obviously, when I was in college and stuff, I like watched a ton of, I think I watched a rundown like every day for like 3 years straight. But then we started building and growing, and I don't consume that much because we're always making shit. But I still watch that. It's really well done, and then it's really not well done, but that's like the charm that they go for. They had a very interesting conversation. So it's a reality show where it's doing Survivor, but in their office with a bunch of their creators. But in the finale, and then like what would they call it? Like reunion app. They talked about kind of the inherited problems of having coworkers and knowing who's going to be on it and being able to text and having to do the problems with that, muddying up gameplay and if they should fix it. And it was like a kind of earnest conversation of like them knowing like this is this. But that all aside, it's crazy entertaining, and it was like wildly successful. They had like 130,000 people watching the premiere, even though it did get kind of, as far as entertainment wise, the last couple episodes. Once Big Cat didn't make he quit. When he had the numbers to grab, this is too deep, but grab Megan and Rico and them and like flip it a little, and he had the numbers to do that, but then it was like, well, this is nothing now, the last 4 episodes. The 2 Pink Wedding episodes are probably some of the best reality show TV I've watched, like any network or channel. Just really, really fun and like crazy. I've wanted to do reality show stuff for a little bit. Like I didn't grow up watching Survivor, but I grew up watching MTV The Challenge. And that actually fits the warehouse better because we could do like warehouse-esque games where kind of the same thing. You stay there, you play challenges that could be based on the sports and stuff we play. And then instead of just politics and eliminating, you send 2 people to an elimination, and sometimes no one else can watch, and other times they can watch. So, and then only one person returns, but that person that returns like just got voted out.
Right.
So I would do that, but we need a bigger staff, and we need to hire like people to develop the show. That's why that's very impressive to me. What they did is because you have all those creative people that like excel at coming up with internet content, and none of them can be part of developing the show.
Right.
So it has to be a surprise to all of them. So like me, Jake, Jack, Zoe, we do a lot of the thinking about warehouse games and sports and stuff. We'd have to be, if we were contestants, which if we did something like this, it would need to be. And then again, I don't think we would be cutthroat, and you need to be cutthroat like that their season kind of ended, and it was kind of like, because everyone was like not cutthroat anymore. And I was like, that's what we would do because we're friendlier. Like we wouldn't want to be mean at all. And to be entertaining, you got to have more like what Prez and Kirk and them were doing.
Pulling K-Mac.
Yeah.
He'd spice it up.
Yeah, but still, we'd be too nice. So we'd have to do our own version that isn't cutthroat. Like it wouldn't be as crazy.
Yeah. I think you would have to just rely on the athletic portion of it more. And you might, by nature, get some cutthroat.
That's kind of like, we have that with Captain's League, but it's...
Yeah.
But we want to slowly implement more like confessional style. I've wanted to do that since the start. So we might. But it's very entertaining. They do a good job with it.
We've got a big live stream coming up in 2 days. Doesn't feel like it's that close, but it is. JJTV, we are hosting a subathon. Are you ready? Are you excited?
Yeah, I got to get all my work done before that to make sure I'm fully ready. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, anything that's like streaming and hanging out with Jake and Joe's and being dumb all day is pretty fun. Starts at 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
1.
Did we book any of the stuff that we were trying to?
They worked on it, but I don't think so.
Oh, damn. All right, still excited.
Yeah.
I didn't buy any of the fake feed I was buying.
Yeah. So that should be a good time. If you watch this channel and you don't know JJTV, Jomboy and Jake TV, I'd be a little surprised, but make sure to check out Jomboy and Jake TV this Thursday, starting at 1 p.m. and going late. Last thing before we dive into the couple questions we have left, you're wearing the hat. You've made a new line of merch.
Well, it's not available to anyone yet.
Okay.
Just me. Taylor has a hat. Ryan really wants one. It might allow him. But I draw my doodles, which I didn't think of as tees at all until people started saying that in the comments. And every week I draw one, and I don't know what the rest look like. So sometimes I've wildly gone off course, and they're different, and we're like, that's not part of the family. I asked Instagram to help come up with a name. They came up with Zorks with a Z at the beginning. And then I put this one on this hat, and I was like, that looks like something. So now I am proud. I like this hat a lot. I made a baggage hat that's bright blue, and like it's too bright.
It's too bright.
I can't wear it. It's just too bright. This is a better look. So yeah, maybe it's gonna be people get grandfathered in, I think. But I want to make a little figure. I bought all those prototypes, little desk mates. So we'll see.
That would be cool. All right, let's jump into the questions again. Make sure to leave yours down below.
It's a cool hat.
Yeah. Vote Kyle 3000. I need to know what Jomboy thinks about the NYC congestion charge.
Dude, it's awesome. I am the biggest fan. There's no traffic.
Yeah, all the traffic's on the damn trains. Sucks.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The path and all the trains, I think, even like the New York, Long Island, and Staten Island, wherever, those trains are like, weren't ready for it as well. But, which they should have been, because that's that. Because New Jersey was just like fighting it. And instead of like preparing, it felt like they were just fighting it. Like prepare the trains. But then like New Jersey Transit. I will also say that I do not have the issues the rest of the world has with New Jersey Transit. I have like an express line from my town, and I usually take a morning train. Delays as it's pretty natural. Like a delay affects the next train. So the later you go in the city, the worse it's going to be because you've been backed up. Kind of like first flight out of an airport, you know there's not going to be any problems. And I'm usually on one of the first trains, and I have an express from my town. So New Jersey Transit for me is nice, but I know that other people, it's absolute hell and bad. But yeah, Katie drove me in last week because all the schools were closed in town, and we left at 8 a.m. That would usually take me an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
If I left at 8 a.m., it took me 33 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
And then Leaders Retreat Day, I left here at 7. That would usually take me an hour and a half, 35 minutes. So I'm paying for the $9 or whatever. Sure. So I'm going to drive less for sure because I don't want to spend $9 and then parking a lot. But on days where I am like, hey, this is worthwhile, it's delightful.
Well, the way that you're putting it, it's $9 for an hour of your time. It's pretty worthwhile. Yeah. For anybody.
I do like taking the train because I work on the train. That's the only downfall. Like today I drove because I got to a late start and I missed the 7:28 train, and then I would have to wait and take the 7:44. But that's a transfer, which means once I get off and then on the second leg, I'm not going to get a seat, so I can't edit. So now I'm taking an hour 10 train commute where I have to walk in the freezing cold, 10 degrees, and I don't get to edit on the train. So I missed that train by like 4 minutes. So I just drove in.
Yeah.
Took me 35 minutes.
It's crazy. I might have been a little naive. I didn't expect it to really affect the path that much, but it has been so crowded on the path. It's insane.
Yeah, they need to adjust. I don't know if they're going to, but if more people are using it, there should be more money. And you'd love to think that that's how governments work and like transportation. But I mean, congestion was awful. So like London did it. London also charges, I think they implemented something a long time. That if you have like a clunker of a car, like like an emissions thing, you have to pay more to drive in the city to like get rid of all the smog and shit. And then I think Sam told me that London delivers all their packages at night.
Yeah. Well, the big trucks.
So there's no big trucks in the middle of the day. That's cool.
That feels like it has to happen.
Manhattan's tough because there's no back alleyways. So you would then have to pay someone to receive packages overnight. I don't know if every building in New York has that. That would create a lot of jobs. But yeah, I'm pro congestion pricing, but I understand that I'm in a situation where I don't, it's not hurting me. I can pay the $9 every now and then to do it. And my New Jersey Transit line isn't awful. For a lot of other people, it's causing really hellish times.
Yeah. Cool. Matt asked, Jomboy Media is growing and growing every year. Do you fear losing your identity as you get bigger? More sponsors to please, more employees and their takes, etc.
We're not getting that much bigger every year. Like we kind of like capped. Like 1 year we had like 20 people and we were like, whoa, we can't grow at that size again. So we're slowly adding people.
And I think this also goes to the point of being sillier. Like we're intentionally like making an effort now after a year of like.
Yeah, but that'll balance out. So I'm not trying to say, I mean, like we might say this year, let's try a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Let's try the vlogs. And then next year be like, hey, we got button up again. Like that's all natural to me. Nothing negative or permanent to those thoughts. No, I don't. How did he phrase the question? Because I'll give a honest answer.
Do you fear losing your identity as you get bigger?
No, because I know my identity and who I am and what I want to be and what I want the company to be. Now, the part about that is that everyone has a perceived identity of us and of me based on whatever they found that they enjoyed. So it probably doesn't match what I know I've always wanted us to be and who we are. But it's like when I say, people always say, do the content I like and stop doing the content I don't like. And that's kind of like the public's reaction. So if you haven't been following closely or like listening to me talk about what I want to do and the plans, then yeah, you might be like, they changed, but it's actually, no, this is, we've always wanted to be. Like breakdowns took off, but we had so much content before then. I was using the breakdowns to promote the other stuff. They grew a life of their own, able to fund like a lot of the growth, able to build Talking Baseball to a really, really, really big popular level, able to get us into good places elsewhere. But I've never, ever wanted to like just do breakdown videos. That was never even part of like, I very much enjoy doing them. I have a lot of fun. I'm actually having a ton of fun doing them recently too. But so what I'm saying is that I'm not worried about that, but people can always say that we've changed based on what they initially thought we were, because it is, everyone just likes everything. Because I see all they need to do this, bring back this show. Everyone loved it. It's like, well, no one watched it. Or stop doing that new shit. No one watches it. Well, it's like a long-term growth plan. So, like, Of course no one's watching it now. So I just room to innovate and go do other stuff. Like, I'm enjoying doing cricket coverage and I'm enjoying meeting a whole new world of people and getting new experiences. So like that is something I want to do. And that might be another sport in the future or another sport down the line. So who knows?
True. Two more here before we head out. Cade asked, he said he listens to most of his podcasts on Spotify. I noticed more ads at the beginning of the show since joining with Dan Patrick. Is this part of the agreement with Dan Patrick or a new strategy for JM?
Well, they sell the ads.
The former. It's just that part of Dan Patrick. It's not our strategy.
Yeah. That's yeah. And so Wake and Jake and Jimmy's Three Things. Yeah, we that's how we don't have a say.
Yeah, I agree.
If I read an ad, that's one thing, but all the ads that just like pop up, that is Dan Patrick and iHeartRadio selling those.
Yeah. For Football Today and Wake and Jake right now. For
Football
Today Wednesday episode.
Yeah, we pivoted Jimmy's Three Things.
Yep. Last question, leaving on a fun one from Brown. Is the company going to spring training again, either Florida or Arizona? Those were fun to watch.
Not as like a giant company, but there will be like Rose is going.
Rose and Trev.
Rose and Trev are going to Arizona. Me, Jake, and Joe's are going for just like 2 quick days in Tampa. I don't think we're having an event or anything. Lights turned off.
Poetic.
Lights are back on.
Poetic.
But we'll be doing some stuff. We're not going to do a big event. Just kind of go down, have some fun, see people, go to a game, make a vlog, leave. Just a hard cut after leave. Out.